selling for a reasonable cost. Perhaps prevented donation.
Yeah.
I was actually going through this whole thing until I got to the technical math problems on how they're doing calculations. I'm like, I don't need this.
Karen, Sean, you guys ready? George, Brian, you guys ready? Good evening, everyone, and I would like to call this City Council meeting for December 16th to order. And I will let some folks here sign in, and we'll get our meeting started. All right, at this time I would ask everyone to please rise and join us in the prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Dear God, thank you for your goodness to us. We give you thanks in this season of Advent, looking forward to Christmas as we remember your incarnation. We come confessing that we have not done all that we could, and we have done things we should not have done. Ask that you forgive and cleanse us from this, and fill us with your righteousness. Thank you for your promise and for your presence with us. Thank you for all your blessings. And as we look ahead, I pray that you'd guide us this evening in our meeting, help us to serve well this city. Thank you for your guidance in the past, and we pray that as we finish out this year and look ahead to the next year, you'd be glorified in all that we say and do. In Christ's name I pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Cheryl, if you could please call the roll.
Mrs. Hados?
Here.
Mr. McGuire?
Here.
Mr. Martin?
Here.
Mr. Potash?
Here.
Chairman Morales?
Here. All right, everyone has received the minutes for both the November 14th and November 25th meeting. Do I have any additions, corrections, or deletions? Hearing none, the minutes will stand as distributed. You've also received the budget report for January 1st through November 30th. And Mayor, if you could give us a rundown where we stand.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. With about 92% of the budget year completed, revenues are at 99%, expenditures are almost at 84%, so we are performing better than budget in both categories.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
Any questions from council concerning the budget? And from anyone in attendance this evening? All right, we have three items, moving on to communications. The first from Barbara Kane Thornton and Company, transmitting the audit of the City of Lebanon financial statements for the year ended December 31st, 2023. And Mayor, if you could give us a rundown on that
Sure.
audit.
So I went into a little bit of detail on Thursday night, but in summary, there are no findings. That's probably the most important thing. No material weaknesses identified, no significant deficiencies identified. So we should be in good shape when it comes to compliance.
Great. All right. Mayor, thank you.
You're welcome.
You and your staff, I would say.
Thank you.
Are there any questions from council concerning the audit? And from anyone in attendance this evening? Okay. Moving on to our second item under communications from Mayor Sherry L. Capello, informing council the reappointment of Melissa Quinones, Director of Administration Assistant to the Mayor, as a delegate, and appointment of Financial Officer Melissa Wyrick as the alternate delegate to the city, or to the Lebanon County Tax Collection Committee for a one-year term, and that is effective January 1st, 2025. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So each school district has a representative on the local tax collection committee, and the local municipalities that are located within that particular school district have a shared representative. The city shares this representative with West Lebanon Township, and so far since we formed this committee, they have deferred to us. Melissa served on it last year, Melissa Quinones. Melissa Wyrock is, of course, our replacement for our retired finance officer, Helen. So she'll get her feet wet as an alternate and then possibly fill the role as the delegate in the near future.
Will she be attending all the meetings with Melissa, or?
For the first
Some.
couple of months, we're not going to have her. She needs to get
Okay.
focused on her job here. But at some point in time, then, she'll, or if Melissa is unable to make a meeting, she, of course, would fill in.
I have a question about the West Lebanon connection. Is this just a oral agreement that they just defer, or is there anything in writing?
Yeah, we're just supposed to come up with
A member.
a name, and since we actually, out of the local municipalities we represent, we're the largest one, and they just defer to us.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Any other questions from council? And from anyone in attendance this evening? Okay. Mayor, thank you.
You're welcome.
Moving on to the last item under communications this evening, from Mayor Sherry L. Capello, informing council of the appointment, first-time appointment of Becky Woodhouse. And Becky's with us tonight. That's to fill the vacant position on the City of Lebanon Planning Commission. This will be effective, or is effective, December 9th, 2024. The said term expires September 14th, 2028. And Mayor, a little background?
Sure. So the city is divided into 5 planning regions. Jim Fick resigned. He resided in area number 4, which basically is the northwest quadrant of the city. Becky resides within that area. We're required to have a resident fill each of the 5 planning areas, and then there's 2 areas where they can be from any of the planning areas. We didn't have someone in area 4, so we had to fill this vacancy with someone from area 4. Becky graciously volunteered when she heard we had an opening. And just to give you a little bit of background on her, she's a partner with Level 11. She's a developer and consultant for web design. She does photography, art, and she was also, and I didn't know this, Becky, until I did a little bit of research on your LinkedIn, co-publisher of The Table for 5 years, and I really liked that publication. She's also a mentor with Mentor a Mother for more than 7 years. Thank you for doing that. I think that's a really wonderful organization. And she's the treasurer for the Commission for Women.
Wow. Becky, thank you so much. All these positions are voluntary, and a huge thank you. We do appreciate you stepping up. So hopefully a great couple years. So, any other comments from council?
Just a question, do we have all of the positions filled now, or is there
No,
one still
I have
outstanding?
one
That's right.
other opening in area, I forget the number,
is
but
it
it would be the
5?
southwest portion of the
Southwest.
city. So we had the northwest, and now we have the southwest.
Okay. So the 2 at-large positions
Are
are
filled, because I
filled.
have 3 people from area 3.
Okay.
So I have to fill from the specific area.
All right. Okay.
And I
Again,
believe
Becky.
Brian had a possible name, so we may have someone. If not, we'll put it out there and
We'll look.
Okay, great.
Comb the street.
Becky, thank you.
Side.
All right. Any other comments on that appointment? All right, moving on, we have 2 items under ordinances this evening, the first being Bill number 6, providing for the tax levy of the City of Lebanon for the year 2025. This is on final reading, and I would like to make a motion for Bill number 6. Do I have a second?
I'll second it, Mr. Chairman.
George, thank you. Bill number 6 has been moved and seconded. Mayor, one last time with this.
I'm going to make it short and sweet. The real estate mills is proposed to remain the same at 4.581 mills. Our average tax bill is $475. We have not increased taxes for 10 years.
Thank you, Mayor. Any questions from council concerning Bill number 6? And from anyone in attendance this evening? All right. Hearing none. Cheryl, if you could please call the roll.
Mrs. Hados? Yes. Mr. McGuire?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Potash?
Yes.
Chairman Morales?
Yes, that's 5 in favor, none against. Bill number 6 is so moved. Moving on to our last item on tonight's agenda, Bill number 7, amending Article 1382, Stormwater Management of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Lebanon, Pennsylvania, for the purpose of adopting new stormwater management regulations. This is on introduction, and do I have a motion for Bill number 7?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
And I will second Bill number 7. Bill number 7 has been moved and seconded. Mayor, a little background.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In 2013, an amendment was prepared based off of DEP comments on our NPDES permit. This amendment was adopted in 2014. There was a requirement in 2018 to update to 2022 regulations. Our engineer has been working on this rewrite, which addresses stormwater plans to be recorded, updated water quality and volume regulations, which will need to be updated further in 1 to 2 years when DEP issues our new permit. It also addresses procedures for waivers and added prohibitions for non-stormwater discharges in the stormwater ordinance. It's also contained, this non-stormwater discharges is also in a separate ordinance. It's called our illicit discharge ordinance, and that is already in place.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
Mayor, just, has there been any discussion at the state? I know this is coming down from the federal level, the stormwater management regulations and rules. Has there been any updates? The state hasn't, there's been no push
To lessen?
to lessen. It seems like they continually are updating these rules, and we're, it's a constant state of reaction when it comes to these rules. And as we know in the past, where we purchased the second street sweeper only to find out that was not a remediation means, and after much investment, that piece of equipment was not cheap. I was just curious if we're not hearing anything at the state level then.
Well, we had to purchase that second street sweeper anyhow because we always had 2 running.
Okay.
So it was a necessary replacement or upgrade of equipment because of maintenance of the
Okay.
vehicles. So that's something that we'll continually have to do. Or, if the mayor and council, as we progress along, continues to want to have the same sweeper program that we have in place now. With that being said, it is accurate to say that when there was first discussion about this new NPDES permit, originally they said that 89% of your sediment that's taken off the streets from street sweeping would count towards your nutrient, your pollutant reduction plan. And then DEP said they read a white paper or something like that and changed their mind on the percentage that would be allowed in the calculation, and it went down to like 13% from 89%, give or take a percentage. So we thought we'd be able to meet our permit requirements just solely on street sweeping. And then, of course, with that change in interpretation, that was no longer the case, which is why we went together with 5 other municipalities and are jointly doing, adding our numbers together to, what, Chad? Yeah. To meet those permit requirements. Now, with the change in presidency, will that change the requirements? I have no idea.
Okay.
I have not heard anything. I don't know, Chad, you meet every month. Have you heard anything about lessening? And that's the position I feel like we've been in since the first new permit was issued. It's always this, you don't know where you are.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah.
Not to take you down that long road again, but, okay. Any questions from council concerning Bill number 7?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I have just a question for the mayor. I'm trying to recall how long ago, what year was this that we found out the change from the 89 to the 13%? I know it's since I, have been involved in and been aware of city politics and stuff, but I can't off the top of my head remember what year that was.
I'm trying to remember if Robin was our public works director or if Gordon was, I feel it was Gordon. I think it was Gordon. So it had to be before 2013. I've been mayor since 2010, so it's somewhere between 2010 and 2013. Obviously, I would have that up in my office, but off the top of my head, I want to say 2012, but don't hold me to it without me verifying it. But I would say approximately 2012. I think that's when it was.
Thank you.
But we had a meeting, because I was really upset, and we requested a meeting, and I remember we had our state rep, senator, and officials from DEP, and we had a meeting at North Lebanon Township, and all the local municipalities came, and I kind of told them how I felt, as well as other people.
And the consortium, everyone is doing their part in the consortium, no issues.
Oh, yeah, we all have to pay in a
I'm
certain
just-
amount based off of our ordinance.
I know we are, Mayor.
And then
everyone.
projects,
Okay.
and then we get credit for, projects that are occurring in other townships because we have so much impervious area, we can't do enough, like with natural stream, restoring the stream banks or, and unfortunately, Stavers Dam is in North Lebanon Township, not in the city, so anything that we do there, like with the aeration fountain and things like that, don't even really count for us, even though the water's coming into the city.
Okay.
So we just can't do enough to meet that number, which is why we have to participate jointly.
Yeah.
And then the improvements that are being made to help the water, which basically it's all flowing, in one direction there to the river and then to the Chesapeake Bay.
But the
It
consortium's,
will help,
the consortium's been a good avenue
Yeah.
for us.
yeah.
Okay, great. Any other questions from council? And from anyone in attendance? All right. Hearing none, Cheryl, if you could please call the roll.
Mrs. Hados?
Yes.
Mr. McGuire?
Abstain.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Potash?
Yes.
Chairman Morales?
Yes, that's 4 in favor, 1 abstention. Bill number 7 is so moved. That concludes our formal agenda for this evening. At this time, I will open the floor to council for any issues, concerns, anything to be brought forward.
I mean, we're into the holiday season, so I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Okay. I'm sorry, Brian.
Just holiday season, so Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. That's all I have for
You
tonight.
can blame
but-
that on Sean, his abstention. I don't know if I've, in 9 years or 8 years, I've ever had an abstention, so I had to. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Brian. Any other,
Just a reminder of the New Year's Eve Bologna drop on South 8th Street between Cheston and Cumberland Street on, of course, New Year's Eve. It will begin at 10 p.m. with DJ Jim Payne playing music. We will have space heaters if it's really cold. The disco ball was manufactured by E&E Metal Fab. Each year they cut the new year out, so we thank them for that. Seltzer Smokehouse Meats, excuse me, is donating the bolognas that will be attached to the disco ball. And Janelle's not here tonight, so I'm not sure about the food trucks yet. But we want to also thank Arthur Funk and Sons for
crane?
the hoist.
Oh.
Is that
Is
what
it a
it's called?
crane, Dave?
And the
or-
crane,
A lift, okay.
the lift, and what's the thing that attaches it? The hoist? No, wait. Yeah. All the stuff that makes the bologna go up and down. So again, and of course, Eckerd Siemens for our big sponsor. We want to thank them as well.
All right.
Bologna will be
Huge
donated.
thank you to,
And the bologna will come at 3 o'clock, and we'll rise it up, and then it will be on display until it drops at midnight. Thank you.
okay, and what will
donated to
happen?
the Lebanon Rescue.
Oh, yes, and it will be donated to the
Thank
Lebanon
you.
Rescue.
My next question. Great. And we'll see everyone there on New Year's
Absolutely.
Eve, so, all right, great. At this time, I will open the floor for any questions. Great. You might have to turn that mic on.
Oh, can I just say one more quick thing? Visit Lebanon Valley is also a sponsor. I apologize.
All right,
And of
thank you,
course,
Mary.
the Community of Lebanon Association for letting us use their stage. So we want to also thank them.
That's why
Mr.
I'm here,
Gates? Craig
Craig Gates, 47 Berwyn Park. Community of Lebanon Association, we had 2 very successful carriage rides the last 2 Fridays downtown, and I want to thank the Community of Lebanon Association and myself, the mayor, city council, and especially Chief for the police assistance. They were out and followed the carriages as a safety measure. They blocked off a lane of Cumberland Street, put lots of cones out to make sure that our rides were very safe. And we just want to thank you for all your assistance in both the carriage ride nights. Thank you.
Craig, how many years have we been doing the carriage ride? You knew I was going to ask you.
I'm going to say, I know it's been about 15 years,
Okay.
if not a little bit more.
Great.
So, yeah, and even it was pretty cold this year, but we still had pretty full carriages. Some
Good.
carriages were sold out, so it's a nice event. Brings people in town that you generally don't see, but thank you.
Great. Thank you, sir. All righty. Any other questions, concerns? All righty. Our next meeting will be January 6th at 4:45. That is our reorg meeting. It's a very quick meeting, but of course that will be open to the public, so everyone's invited. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. And I'll take this opportunity to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and wish you a Happy New Year. And we will see you next year. With that, I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This meeting will stand adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, between getting it Thursday and having final exams to grade. Look at it.
No, that's, hey, I wasn't
I'm like,
being
it's on,
flippant when
yeah,
I,
yeah, it's on introduction,
because
so I'm like,
we've never had that. Ask.